My name is Kent Richardson, Director of Partner Programs and Strategy with Nomad e-commerce. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about some of the market trends, specifically in the age of the self-service buyer. Now, this is a conversation we've been having with a lot of our partners. We go to market exclusively through talented and trusted partners like the TM Group and their customers about what challenges are they seeing in the marketplace. So this is not designed today to be a feature function demonstration of the Nomad e-commerce platform. It is really designed to be a conversation or hopefully educational about what's going on in the marketplace and how you need to think about possibly reshaping your communication with your customers in the age of the self-service buyer. So with that being said, let's move right along. So who is this guy yelling at me this morning? Well, I've been in the SMB ERP space for longer than I care to admit. I started my life as a Microsoft Dynamics partner. So I started my life as a partner. I'm very familiar with the challenges and the opportunities and the value that organizations like TM Group provide to their customers. So today's agenda, it's all about the trends that are shaping investments and technologies that companies need to consider. And again, this isn't something that's being driven by new technology. It's being driven by the demands of customers in the marketplace. So those are the trends we're going to talk about. Before we begin any project or any investment of our time, our talent, and our treasure, why am I doing this? Why am I here this morning listening to this guy blab at me? Okay, what am I going to do with any information I might glean today? And when should I do this? That's kind of the mission I'm on today is to give you some information on why you might be considering a new B2B commerce platform, what you might think about doing, and then give you some incentive on why I think you should be doing this sooner rather than later. So what do we mean by B2B e-commerce? So it really is a digital or electronic trade between one or two businesses through online channels. Now, B2B e-commerce is growing faster than any other element of B2B sales. It's 43% of the marketplace right now. And by 2028, it's expected that the global B2B market will exceed 25 trillion US dollars, a huge market that people need to figure out a way to tap into. Now, I was kind of surprised, and I think we all have an interpretation of the B2B market versus the B2C market, business to business versus business to consumer. Anybody want to hazard to guess which is the larger of those markets, B2B or B2C? Well, I'll answer that for you. B2B is 3x the size of the B2C market. Doesn't mean the B2C market isn't important, but the B2B market is significantly bigger. That comes from Research and Markets, the world's largest market research store. A couple other things. What's pushing this growth, this explosion in the B2B market? Well, there's some external pressures and some internal pressures. The external pressures should really come as no surprise. The lingering impact of the global pandemic or COVID, that new normal that we all had to go through is here to stay. The digital relationship companies have with employees, companies have with customers, the remoteness is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. In fact, it's going to continue to accelerate. The changes in B2B buyers, there has been a generational seismic shift, which we're going to talk a lot about this morning. And then there's the whole concept of the emerging online B2B marketplaces, Amazon and others. Amazon, I can remember when I bought my first book from Amazon. I remember when Amazon was the bookstore you went to right before the holidays if you were struggling to figure out what gift to purchase somebody. And Amazon has just exploded, and now you can buy anything on Amazon, and they have a B2B environment, and companies need to be aware of that. You are now competing with Amazon, with other online marketplaces. So got to be aware of that. There's also some internal pressures that are happening. So inside the companies that you serve and inside your companies, there's this concept of digital transformation. Leaders that go to conferences, that read, that owners of business, they're being bombarded with this idea of digital transformation, which we're also going to talk about here in just a little bit. And I think there's a real need to understand it and to simplify digital transformation, because people that can do that are investing significantly in that. B2B e-commerce is a key component of that digital transformation. And most importantly, this concept of digital transformation or separating ourselves from our competitors through a better digital relationship with our customers gives you a chance to be more competitive in the marketplaces you serve. Because there are companies, and there are companies that are going to continue to resist investing in a digital transformation. I still hear from people with some frequency, I think this internet thing's going to be big. Yeah, it's going to be big. So you can't ignore it. So what is digital transformation? We've gone through this as individuals. Think about it. In our personal lives, we have made the leap into digital transformation. All our pictures are on our phone. All our music is on our phone. We run our lives on our phone. That is a digital. We text people. We are digital beings. We have gone through as individuals a digital transformation. It's now time for companies to make that switch to a digital transformation. The fax machine, papers, filing cabinets, how we manage our images, how we manage our inventory, all of that stuff is moving to a much more digital relationship as employees, and then the relationship we have with our customers. And I think the important thing on this slide is to focus in on that yellow text. This is really being driven by changes in customer expectations. Okay, this isn't a bunch of marketing people or a bunch of technologists sitting around a room one day going, what's the next big thing we should sell people? Digital transformation. No, customers are saying, I want to interact with you differently. I don't want to call you anymore. I don't want to meet with you anymore. I want to interact with you digitally. If you're not turning that knob and becoming a better digital citizen, you're going to be left behind. And what does that mean? Well, that means building digital products such as mobile applications or an e-commerce platform. This is the premise of our conversation today, that people and companies need to be better digital citizens. But digital transformation is only for the big guys. The Fortune 500. No. I don't have time. I don't have money. I can't go through a digital transformation. Well, if you read CIO magazine or you look at other publications that are out there, it talks about those companies from 10 employees to 1,000 employees are well on their way down this digital transformation roadmap. 2 years ago, about 17% of companies could say they were involved in a digital business adoption. Currently, we've got about 26% more companies, and in the next 2 years, 32% of the companies. So 2 years from now, 75% of SMBs will have undergone some size, shape, or form of digital transformation. And I get it. We've got a lot of stuff to do, Ken. I got to get product out the door. I got to buy inventory. I've got to make sure my drivers, my salespeople, my HR department, we're stressed enough as it is. I can't add one more thing to my plate. Why should I do this? And I'm not here to be a fear monger or what have you, but quite candidly, the answer is going to be survival. And that'll become clearer as we get down the road here just a little bit. If you don't have and you don't fully leverage the ERP investment you've made, and you don't become a full-throated digital citizen, there's a really good chance you're going to be left behind. And why is that? Oh, this transitions into knowing your customer. And when I say know your customer, it's beyond what SIC code they're in, what their address is, what their products are, who their president is. You really need to dig into what's their culture. Okay, who are they? What's the makeup of that organization? How do they want to do business with you? Here comes the first big thing. I hope you're still with me out there, but this is really where, if you hadn't been paying attention up till now, this is a good time to lean in and say, what is this guy talking about? Well, who is my customer generationally speaking? Well, we all know the baby boomers. I happen to be a baby boomer. But millennials are going to be 40% of the US labor force by 2030. And why is that important? Well, how do millennials want to do business with you? Now, I have 2 millennial daughters. I will tell you how my daughters do business with their parents is very different than how I did business with my parents. My wife will pick up the phone and call our daughters all the time, and it'll go to voicemail. Why does it go to voicemail? Because they know who's calling. I say, text them and set up a time when you want to call. They interact with the world differently. We have to be aware of that, and we have to plug into that. So what do millennials, how are they different? Well, first of all, there's 60% of the tech buyers out there are millennials. They don't want to talk to salespeople. So your sales resources, they're out dialing for dollars and sending emails. These people don't want to engage that way. They don't want to talk to you. And in fact, 54% of that 60%, they prefer a rep-free self-service B2B buying experience. We have lost control of the sales process. We have to get control of the sales process by having a better digital experience, a better 7 by 24 by 365 digital sales capability, so these millennials can plug in and get what they need. What else do these millennial customers want? I have a very dear friend of mine, Bob Anderson, that works for the Gartner Group, and Bob continues to allow me to share his content about what the customer of today is looking for. And this shouldn't come as any surprise to anybody. Millennials want instant availability everywhere on anything. They want intelligent embedded technologies. They pick up their phone, they load the app, they want to start being able to use it. Now, we all know that ERP software and B2B e-commerce platforms will never be an app, but it has to be closer and closer and closer to that. They want a platform. They want to be able to configure, invest, modify what they've invested in to launch new products and services for their company. It needs to be consumer level simplicity. I can't have an army of software engineers at my company. I need to have this citizen coder capability. I want access over ownership. I want it to be a subscription. It has to be web services, open API integration capable, and it's got to improve connections between people and data. And oh, by the way, it's got to produce outcomes for me. If I'm going to invest in this, it's got to save me money or make me money. And if I can't point to those two things, then I'm probably going to be in trouble. And they also need innovation because they want new business models. They want to get to market faster. They want to be competitive in the market they serve. And oh, by the way, it's got to be industry best practices. It's got to be optimized, and it's got to be at a lower cost. This is what your customers, this is the generation of customer demands that we need to be aware of, and we need to start positioning ourselves to participate in. So we're talking about a platform. So let's talk a little bit about a B2B platform. It needs to be headless. Well, we're in the month of Halloween, but headless is the standard term when you start to go out and search on B2B platforms. And what do we mean by headless? Well, here's your B2B platform. It's going to have two components. It's going to have a front end and a back end. That's going to then integrate with your ERP investment. Okay. So the back end is where I pull pricing and inventory, and I have all the tactical operational business processes between your B2B platform and your ERP platform. Your front end is your website. It is your user experience. It is your user interface. This needs to be headless. And what they mean by that is if you decided to change your user experience 5 times in a week, you don't want to be writing new integration layers to the back end into your ERP. I need to be able to change that user experience with images, with videos, with descriptions, and all that good stuff on the front end without interrupting or interfering with my back end. That's what we mean by a headless platform. Traditional B2B e-commerce platforms have been very, very hardwired, where anything I change on the front end has to change something on the back end, has to change something on the ERP. I've got to test it. I've got to go through some coding. It's just a real pain. So if you're looking at a B2B platform, ask the question, is it headless? That's all we're talking about here, guys. Moving on, now that we know we've got a whole bunch of millennials out there that have a different level of expectations in the company. So you got to ask yourself, well, what is my next strategy? Well, first we'll ask ourselves, what is its customer experience? Okay, what is the experience these people are having with you when they come to do business with you? Now, there are some KPIs we can use to measure our customer experience. Some of the ones we're familiar with, Net Promoter Score. A Net Promoter Score, for those that aren't familiar, it's a sliding scale. 0 means I have no opinion of you. Kent, I have no opinion of what you're telling me today. It's neither good nor bad. A positive Net Promoter Score is, hey, I really like what I'm learning today. This is really interesting. I'm going to give this a positive Net Promoter Score. A negative Net Promoter Score is just the opposite. What a waste of my time. That's going to be a negative Net Promoter Score. Customer satisfaction. I'm sure many of you send out forms to your customers. I get them all the time. How satisfied were you with your experience at such and such and so and so? A customer satisfaction, CSAT. A newer one on the marketplace is this concept of customer effort score. How easy is it for me to do business with you? How easy was it? Did I solve your problem quickly and efficiently? Were you able to access your product or your service simply and to your satisfaction? Customer effort score. There are ways. If you go out and do the Google or do the Bing on customer effort score, what sort of survey can I send out? Very, very quick. Were we able to solve your problem easily today? Did we support you? There's ways that you can start to measure this, but this is one. How easy am I to do business with that we need to be aware of, even more so than customer satisfaction, because that'll drive customer satisfaction. So better self-service translates to a better customer effort score, which translates to a better not customer experience. Sorry about that, guys. So let's talk about self-service. 53% of businesses believe their customers are very satisfied with their self-service offerings, but only 15% of customers agree. A little bit of a disconnect there. 81% of consumers expect more self-service options, but 40% of businesses think they have enough. What do we mean by self-service? Frequently asked questions page, videos, thought leadership, easy search. Again, how easy it is for me to do business with you when I'm sitting at my tablet, on my phone, at my computer at 7:30 at night, or sitting at a children's event or a dentist appointment. How easy am I to do business with? Can I get the information that I need? So McKinsey, a highfalutin consulting company, says that 65% of B2B companies are fully transacting online in 2022, up from 53% from a year ago. I don't have the 2023 numbers, but you know that's going to go up, okay? Close to 80% of B2B companies are going to be fully transacting online, I predict. Yet 52% of B2B buyers report that they're frustrated with their online buying experience. This is your customer, potentially, okay? Those millennials that we keep talking about, 90% of those B2B buyers, and remember, 60% of that 90% are millennials, and 54% aren't even going to talk to you and tell you. They will go somewhere else if you don't have what they need from a customer experience, from a customer effort score, from a digital sales resource. There's no loyalty here. They're going to do their job the way they want to do their job. And if you can't service them, they'll go find somebody else. Gartner Group says that 77% of B2B buyers state that their latest purchase was very difficult or complex. Those aren't good numbers. If we invest in our self-service, okay, there's profit to be made here. There's success. I can differentiate myself from my competitors. I can retain my customers. There's money to be made here. Okay, 70% of B2B buyers find buying from a website more convenient than buying from a sales representative, and I'm going to make 30% more if I have that self-service capability. Money to be made here. Talk a little bit more about some B2B market trends that are out there. If 80% of B2B sales will occur in digital channels by 2025, and if repeat customers spend 67% more than new customers, and if you ask buyers what they want most from their suppliers is, I don't want to meet with you, the message is clear. I got to be online to keep my customers who are going to spend more and they don't want to meet with me. What am I going to do? Is what I have today good enough to keep me competitive in the world of the millennial B2B buyer? Kind of my final thoughts here on B2B marketing trends. Again, there's opportunity here. Yeah, there's a little bit of fear. There's concern. Maybe I should be a little worried about this. Only you can answer that question. But if 90% of them are going to leave, or 74% of them are going to leave, and a bunch of them have different expectations on what we're providing today, then I think this is something we need to talk about. And it's something that we talk about all the time with our partners and their customers. All right, so hold on. It's not all doom and gloom, okay? There is help on the horizon. There are people out there that can help you get where you need to go. And Nomad is one of those people, all right? So who is Nomad? How come I've never heard of these guys before? Well, we started in 2001. We're an onshore team based just out of St. Louis. We design, develop, and deliver web storefronts and B2B capabilities focused on the ERP space is all we do. Now, someone will say, gee, Ken, is all you do B2B? No. If somebody said, while you're here, Ken, could you also do a B2C site for us? The answer is yes. But B2B requirements are so unique and so powerful. Our co-founders, co-owners, still with the company today, who were each running their own individual manufacturing company. One was an oil and gas pipe and valve company. The other was a furniture manufacturing company. They decided in 2001 to go out and build a better mousetrap. In this case, the better mousetrap was a B2B e-commerce platform. And the average Nomad customer stays with us for a little over 13 years, about 13 and a half years. They like what we're doing. We have a good long track record of satisfying our customers. And our mission is to turn your ERP platform into an e-commerce powerhouse. You've invested heavily in your ERP platform. You've got your GL wired, your AP, your AR teams are clicking on all cylinders. Your inventory's in good shape. Your order to cash process is in really good shape. I've sunk my money into my ERP platform. It's now to start to get a positive return on that and turn that ERP platform into a revenue generating powerhouse. That's Nomad's job. Now, what makes us a little bit different? Traditionally, a B2B e-commerce project can be very challenging. How so, Kent? Well, there you are as the customer, the big gear in the engine. And now I've got an ERP platform that I've invested in and a system integrator or a partner that I'm working for. And those gears are meshed and working quite well. And then I raise my hand and say, I would like to invest in a B2B e-commerce project. Now I have to bring three new voices to the table. I've got to bring a digital agency or somebody who's going to design, deliver, my website and my web storefront. And then I've got to have my B2B platform player, whomever that might be. And then I've got to have a piece of integration that connects the B2B platform to my website and back to my ERP solution. These gears struggle to mesh many times because there's different levels of expectation and expertise. And this leads to the proverbial finger pointing. Well, we're ready to integrate to the ERP solution. Well, I can't get the middleware working just yet. They're not synchronized. They're not version compatible for whatever reason. Okay, well, the website's not ready yet, but the B2B platform is ready and the integration is ready. There's an opportunity here for frustration. So what makes Nomad different? Well, we're very fortunate on the right-hand side of the screen there that our partner, TM Group, represents the ERP platform and the professional services systems integrator partner. So we've got one strong voice, trusted business advisor there. And then in the Nomad gear, we own and operate our own digital agency. So we develop and deliver the storefronts, the websites. We own and operate the integration to the ERP platform. So we're always in sync with the Microsoft solution that's being utilized. And then we own and operate and write the B2B platform. And B2B is different than B2C. I mean, let's talk about that. In B2C world, I go online, I pick my product, I put in my credit card, they ship it to me, either standard shipping or overnight delivery, whatever it is I want, and boom, I'm out the door. In the B2B world, I have a contractual relationship with my customers. And they have pricing based on the relationship with the customer. B2C, I get a price from Amazon is the price from Amazon. Okay. If I'm a customer, I may have different price for different quantity, for different shipment days of the week, for different product mixture. My pricing is going to be different. And oh, by the way, my payment's going to be different. I've got terms with you. I've got net 30 terms with you. And I've got a credit limit with you. And I want to place a $5,000 order, but I've only got $2,000 of credit left. Okay, I want to put $2,000 on terms. I want to put $1,500 on my credit card, and I want to pay you $1,500 via ACH. I may have three different payment types on one specific order. That's a very powerful requirement in the B2B space. It's something that Nomad does all day, every day, and twice on Sunday, as it were. It's part of our core competency. So there's some very unique B2B requirements that Nomad does very, very well. And hopefully the reduction in gear grinding leads to a much more satisfied customer and a better experience. Instead of having 5 different people pointing fingers at each other, hopefully at the end of the day, we all have our thumbs up. Our job at Nomad is very simple. Our job is to help make our partners' customers happy, which is going to make our partners happy, which is going to make Nomad happy. And if we can then by doing that, we turn your ERP platform into an e-commerce powerhouse. So what do we deliver in support of the self-service buyer? So there's your ERP platform that you've invested in, that's up and running, and it's going great. Thank you, TM Group. And here's the Nomad platform that sits in the middle. I need to be able to pull inventory out of there. I need to place orders out of there. I need to get my pricing out of there. I need to do shipping and billing out of there. I got to manage all my customers in there. I got to do payments in there. How many credit card companies do you guys interact with, Ken, or payment platforms. It's over 19 today. Oh, Kent, we really love our corporate website. I don't want to change my corporate website. That's okay. We'll do a subdomain underneath your corporate website that you love that is just the same branded look and feel, but that's your web store that integrates back to your ERP. So you don't have to rip and replace everything. We can work with what you have today. And what do you get? You get that powerful website all the way from corporate page or just storefront. We can do in a portal environment. We can do payments, or you can continue to do payments in your ERP. We can check every single order I've ever made, either on the website or in the ERP. And then I can manage that concept of complex pricing, complex shipping, and complex checkout. Kent, I have a contract with RPS. I have a contract with Roadway. I have a contract with Estes. I want to program my shipping there. Not a problem. It doesn't have to just be FedEx, UPS, and USPS. I don't have to use a Starship or some shipping. I can use the Nomad platform to do any shipping capabilities that I would want to do. What about comprehensive digital media manipulation? What do you mean there, Ken? Some of the limitations in the ERP platforms are images. How much memory can I put out there? How many images can I put out there? Well, Nomad platform has all of the content management and digital media manipulation you might want to need. There's a concept or a term out there called PIM, P-I-M, Product Information Management. A lot of your customers have thousands, if not tens of thousands of images and videos and diagrams and documents for the parts and the products they serve. Sometimes it's hard to shoehorn all that stuff into the ERP platform. You can do it in the Nomad content management system. What about item configuration, Kent? Well, how about it? What if I had the ability to go out and build the item I wanted to purchase and create a bill of materials or a manufacturing work order to flow back into the ERP system? It's a capability that Nomad has that very few, if any, other B2B platforms have. What about just kits and attributes, size, color, shape? Easy peasy. Can I do it on my phone? Can I just want my salespeople to be able to walk in, log into that customer, use their tablet, create the order, and place the order. Do it on your phone, do it on your tablet, do it on an 80-inch screen if you want. And what about user management? Different users have different levels of responsibility and security within each and every customer. Kent is a junior purchasing manager. I only have access to this level of inventory, this amount of purchasing power, and this price configuration. Allie is our most senior purchasing manager. Allie can see every single piece of inventory down to the last item on the left and gets access to every single pricing matrix that would be available from you as the company. Those are some of the things you need to be looking for in your B2B e-commerce platform. So how are we doing today? Did we answer some of these three questions? Why am I doing this? Well, quite candidly, you're doing this because your millennial customers demand it. And there's also a growing B2B market. What am I going to do? Well, Ken's convinced me, or maybe I haven't, but I will wear you down to invest in an integrated headless B2B platform. When should I do this? This is tricky. This is, it's up to everybody. I would suggest sooner rather than later to meet your customer demands and expectations, with the understanding that if I lose a customer and I gain a new customer, that new customer is still going to purchase 67% less than the customer I lost. So existing customers spend 67% more than new customers. I got to hold on to my customers. And then those companies that do provide self-service make on average 30% more. There's money to be made here, and conversely, there's money to be lost here. All right, Ken, help me understand what I should look for in a B2B e-commerce platform. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a headless platform, preferably SaaS, that has a service level agreement that's PCI compliant, that works with all my credit card companies, that integrates with Avalara, that integrates with all my tax players, all that good stuff. I got to have inventory availability on my web store. But Kent, I don't want to show my customers every single. Fine, we can say in stock, out of stock. I can show you inventory with a built-in safety level of 15%, 20%, 5%, or I can show you actual inventory. What do you mean by complex pricing capability? Well, how about if I price differently by different warehouses? So of course, every customer is going to get different pricing. Every volume is going to get different pricing. Every product is going to have different pricing. But what about different pricing by different warehouse? We can do that. Credit management. How do you pay? How do you purchase? Can I do a CSV file upload, an Excel upload for a standing order? Of course you can. What do I mean by logistics management? Ken, I buy everything from China. I'm not so much interested in shipping rates. I need to see how much of my products based on dimensions have filled my shipping containers. So as I start to build my order, I want to say, am I building out a full shipping container to maximize my logistics management? Can I integrate with all my shipping platforms? Of course you can. User management, mobile optimization. What do we mean by omni-channel support? The ability to integrate with Google Shop or Amazon or wherever else you put your products out there, so your customers can log on and see the right product at the right price at the right time wherever they are. The websites have to be fast and powerful. Got to be able to fill multiple shipping addresses. I've got to integrate with the ERP, with CRM, payment process integration, content management. And oh, by the way, I've got to have a dashboard in there. These are some of the things that, as you're out there looking at the quote headless B2B e-commerce platform, these are some of the things you should be kicking tires on. Some resources and reads that I highly recommend. So Trust Radius is a really good analyst out there, and they've got this really good white paper read on the age of the self-service buyer. They went out and talked to about 2,000 B2B buyers. Go ahead and read that, because there's a huge disconnect. This is a company called Commerce Tools. They tend to be a little bit more enterprising, the larger organization, but I think the trends still ring true in digital commerce. Another good read about what's going on in 2023 and beyond. And I have found Blake Morgan to be a very compelling futurist and speaker. She has a great YouTube channel out there about the customer of the future and what they're looking for. So this is a simple read. It better be for this former Marine. It's a simple Marine. It's a simple read, but it's a compelling read. And her YouTube channel is just fantastic. And if I ever had a chance to go see her speak at a keynote, she'd definitely be worthwhile. Thank you for your time today.